Hello everybody, and this is Reaper, and we are in Wurm Online. I am standing in front of my house that I am working on, and for those of you who don't know what Wurm Online is, it is a true sandbox MMO that has been around for almost 15 years. That hit Steam for the first time ever on, I believe it was July 24th or 5th, less than a week ago. Anyway, this is not going to be a long introduction video into the game. It is an amazing game, and I am truly having a blast. And the sad thing is that I've been a gamer for a very long time. Like a long time. Let's just let it go at that. I'm 50. There you go. Anyway, and I've never played it until I saw it was on Steam, and I knew about the game, but I was always doing something else. But this game lets you do everything, and future videos we're going to cover various things and stuff like that. It's going to be a mix of some tutorial videos from things that I've personally learned. Excuse me. That I'm sure obviously veterans know. New players probably don't, and hopefully they find these helpful. If you are a veteran player and you're like, no shit, I know that, please, don't leave a mean comment or a dislike. Just, you know what, move on. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to pass out what I've learned and help people out who want to be helped out that don't know. Anyway, the game's amazing, and we'll cover it's an extremely high learning curve, deep game. That's exactly what it is. And my recommendation is, there's a lot of tutorials out there as well, and but there's a lot of information on the game. I wish I would have started it sooner, but I'm glad to be here now. So anyway, we'll talk about stuff like claiming land and stuff like that and so forth. I'm a premium. I subscribed. I'm a premium player, which you can find out what that is and stuff like that, or I'll cover it in a future video. But this one, just a quick little, I wanted to get a video up for it because I'm having a blast, and this is just a quick little tutorial on how I found to increase crafting time, or even harvesting, really. And real quick, the outline that you see is, ironically enough, one of the first things I had asked a streamer was, can it be turned off? That I would find it annoying, and it can be turned off. But you'll notice that pretty much every item in the game exists, and the game's made up of tiles essentially, and each tile has a border to it. See, tile border, tile border, tile border, and tile border. Like, you can terraform the ground, and the way you do that is by digging or putting back dirt or rock or sand or whatever. And that, what, I'll probably cover that in a future video. There've been a lot of videos that cover terraforming, but anyway, real quick, I will show you how to turn it off. I think O is the default on your keyboard to bring up the UI. If you're using the new UI, hit settings, graphics, scroll to the bottom, and it is the very last thing down here. You can highlight over the question mark, and it says renders an outline on hovered objects. Recommended on. I actually do recommend it on. But you can click that, hit save, and boom. No more items. Now, you want the tooltip, obviously, but there you go. The reason I recommend it on, I think when I'm going to end up turning it off is when I'm out fighting or adventuring, and I'm going to be I'm going to be, in combat or fighting and stuff like that. When I'm not doing, like, building things. But when you're building or terraforming, it's what I consider to be a necessity. Do you know what I mean? So, but anyway, that's how you turn it off. But anyway, back to the whole crafting thing. So, well, a quick tip that I did learn, okay? You have, obviously, you can, an IVE is, I think it's the default for inventory. Maybe first of all, every key in the game can be rekeyed. So, like, literally everything. These are all the actions and stuff in the game. Like terraforming all the way from digging to leveling to tunnel. I mean, you get the idea. Anyway, So once, and you know, you have your little tool belt here, which you'll start with, and you want to equip it out of your inventory. All right. Now, what I discovered, and I didn't know this at first, was now I have it keyed so I can just change these. Like I hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I rekeyed it just for 5 belts or 5 tabs. But like, if I have my sword on, like I do now, this is your activated item. Like, and what this means is, and I'm jumping around here, and I apologize. But a good example of real quick, of what having your activated item is like if I wanted to, and here, real quick again, I'm jumping around. This is a backpack that I have on, okay? And you can store smaller things in your actual backpack, which is still part of your inventory. It's like a sub-inventory. But like I have like my tools in there. It'll carry little things that makes it for easier finding. Like just little smaller tools like needle and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like the bigger stuff, like you can't put a rake in there. It'll say down here in the events. And the event tab is simply tells you what's going on with everything. And then you have your friends, these are your chats, obviously all that. But anyway, so like, where's my flint? Okay, so if I had something to light my furnace, I would want to click, like if I had kindling on me in my actual inventory, I wouldn't want to have this highlighted as activated, and then I would right click and you'll see it says light, and then I can either just hit I have my delete key set up for action, but where you can just right click pretty much everything in the game to get a sub menu. And then you would click light, but you'll see it says you need at least 1 kindling to start a fire. Now if I didn't have that, okay, it still says light there, but you can't. It says open for my action key, but it doesn't say it here because I don't have the steel and flint as my action key. And see, it says light. So there you go. Your action is essentially, your activated item is essentially sort of like what you're focused on. Okay, so like if I were to go out here and I want to chop this tree down, okay, and I didn't know this right away. I would highlight I would basically put my axe on, okay? That's actually the wrong axe, my hatchet, okay? Like I would equip my hatchet, all right? And I have that under right here, my third thing. But I would equip my hatchet. Now you'll notice that it doesn't say to cut. I don't have the chop option. Now that's because it's not my activated item. The second I do that, boom. See, and I can chop the tree down. But what I didn't know was if I had my sword equipped, okay, well then I can go to that and I can just click, I can just like highlight it. I don't have to physically equip it at that point, and you'll notice it still says cut. Now I can start chopping. He'll automatically, your character will automatically put it in their hand. So they basically they'll use it. They're not equipping it because you'll notice I still have my sword equipped in that slot, and notice I went right back to the sword visibility when I stopped chopping. But when I'm chopping, he'll basically whip it out and use it. All right. And I tell you that just so you don't do like I was doing and basically equipping the sword or the hatchet every time, as in putting it in your actual equipped hand. You don't need to do that. It just needs to be your activated item. So anyway, all right, now I'm back onto what I said earlier in this video. Okay, so these are logs that I've already cut down. And I'll cut this tree down just so you can see that. Now you'll see anytime you perform an action, number one, it takes stamina, all right? Whether it be crafting, farming, or doing whatever, it uses stamina, obviously, okay? Your stamina regeneration is based upon, your thirst, how full your water is, and your food and so on, okay? Now, so if I let that go back up, okay, now I will show you this. I'll bring up the crafting menu. I believe that's default B I have it as B. I don't know. I don't remember if I changed it or not. These three are the queue, the crafting queue, or the action queue, as you can see there. The amount of things you can queue in your crafting or action queue, excuse me, is based upon, I believe it's your mind logic or soul. I'm not sure. I think it's mind logic. All right. And at 20, I can queue up to 3 things. Now, I say that because now this is the part where I was talking about. Like if I hit the chop button one time, it takes 7.5 seconds. And you'll notice up in the upper left-hand corner how much stamina it used. Not very much. You'll also notice pretty much how quick stamina goes back up. And it goes back up faster if I were to go down and get a drink of water at the beach. Okay. The point is 7.5 seconds. Okay. Now I can spam this 3 times because I'm allowed to have up to 3 things queued in my action queue. So if I were to spam this button my action button 3 times to chop, 1, 2, 3. All right, now if I hit it a 4th time, it'll say I'm too busy because I've already done the max that I can do that. But now it was, you notice this first time it was 7.4, second time was 8.2, and the third chop is 10.7. And you'll notice that my stamina has gone down more for each one. Now I say that because, especially if my water's full, or if if I had full water, my stamina would be regenerating quicker than that. The point is, and you'll notice by the way that it'll create a pile for you, which is awesome. Anyway, now I say that is, what I found is unless I'm going to get up and go do something that takes enough, that I want to just spam the queue, it's quicker if I were to just hit the button one time to chop it, 7.5 seconds. Okay? Now you'll notice, boom, I chop. Now watch how quick the stamina goes back up, roughly 1-2 seconds. All right? So you might have 9 seconds total there. But if I were to do it twice or 3 times, you're basically adding, between each one, you're using more stamina, and that's because you're starting to perform an action based on the amount of stamina gone from the previous action. In other words, with full stamina, if I were to start chopping, because I have full stamina, it only takes 7.6 seconds. Okay? But if I were to do it again and again, that second action is being started with less stamina, therefore it's taking longer. You know what I'm saying? That's why. So basically, bottom line, it costs more time. You know what I mean? Now, it might not be much more as far as like chopping these trees go. However, when you get into other things, and I'll show you here, and I'm slow, but like right here, all right, I'm going to bring up the crafting window. Now another thing, for crafting, and this also confused me, you put the item in that you want to use, and then over here in the secondary window, now they can be swapped around if you wanted to. Remove it, and then I could put it here if I wanted to. For like whatever tool you want to use, if I put a saw in here, it brings up what I can make and the percentage of my success chance on making it. Now we're going to make planks. Now this is what I was talking about. Watch down here where the cursor's at in the event window. If I click it one time with full stamina, it takes approximately 10.3 seconds to create one plank. And you get that nice sawing noise. Okay? Now, like I said, stamina goes back up. Now see, it's going back up a little slower because of my water level. Okay? But if I were to, and you can change the queue, how many you want to queue up. If I were to queue up all 3 and craft the plank, first one is still the 10.3 seconds because we're starting with full stamina. Okay, now watch. But then the second one is now 14.5. So we're at 4.3 seconds more for the second craft. And because we have less stamina to queue the second one, and now the third one is 16.8. which is 6.3 seconds off, or like 2 seconds off the first one. And then, but if you add the second craft and the third craft together, you're looking at an extra like 10 seconds to perform all 3 actions. And with like a good water level, it doesn't take 10 seconds to regain that stamina. So the moral of the story is, it is quicker. If you're going to be at your keyboard, and you're going to be active at your keyboard, then just sit here. Wait the 10 seconds. Wait for your stamina to go back up afterwards. Now, oh, and I started that, by the way, before my stamina was back. Now, it might not be as evidently noticed. And I like you can also reach things from quite a bit of ways away. But I'm going to throw these in here quick. Okay. Now, by the way, the kilometers here, that is your run speed. Movement speed. Okay. What I love too is, depending on the terrain, like you walk faster on actual paved roads. If uphill it's slower, and downhill it's faster. See? So on and so forth. Okay, but anyway. Alright, another thing real quick. I'm sorry I'm bouncing around. If you bring up your character window, highlight over the upper left hand corner a little weight. The equipment weight is how much is currently equipped on your character. This is something I didn't notice right away. Inventory weight is obviously the weight in your actual inventory. And then your total weight between the two, because they're separate, is like minus 43.96. Now, if you're at 40 or under, you will move at 100% speed, your max speed. But at 40 to 70, you're only moving at 75% speed. Because I was wondering why I was going slower sometimes than normal. Do you know what I mean? Well, that would be why. And at 25% speed limit, if I'm at 140 pounds, then I can only carry a total of 142 regardless. Okay, and there is an auto run key you can bind, which I love. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, if you can, keep your weight. You know, I try to keep my weight at that 70 or below, at least, so I'm going 75%. You know what I mean? But we'll go get a drink quick, and I'll show you that the stamina goes back up quicker. Let's see, we have a tree we could chop down there. I mean, you can forage for just... I think the game I have my graphics jacked all the way up. I think the game looks really good, to be honest, for being 15 years old. And they've done a few overhauls here and there, but I think it looks amazing. But the amount of things, what it lacks in graphics, it makes up for in just sheer depth of what you can do. It is a true sandbox. Now you can right click the tile. It says sand, but you right click and the water's there too, and you can hit drink. You can also pray, because I actually joined a religion to get some bonuses. Right there, my skill gain is increased temporarily by 10% because of my religion in the game. But anyway, alright, so let's head back up and we'll end this video quick. But the game is amazing. I will show you I bought a little extra silver off the store, because you can go to here, go to store, and then this is the online shop, and you can purchase. Now this is the Steam version. Okay, I'm on the Steam version. I can't stress that enough. I like this. I prefer it. But you can go, like, if you're on premium, you can buy 1 month, 2 months, and that's euros. But I'm American, so it's a little cheaper than the euros. And then you can buy some straight up silver coins. They can be made in game in a few ways, not many. It is entirely possible to play for free. Your skills can't go past 20, and there are restrictions. You can still place a land claim deed, but like, you do need silver in your... Like, this is my land claim token. Right clicking that, my settlement token, and it brings up all this stuff. Like, if I hit info, let's see, the settlement has 11 silver and 78 copper and 73 iron in its coffers. that will last me 87 days, 21 hours. And I think because I had I bought premium for 2 months, and I bought, I think, for 2 or 3 more. But I'm good till like November. And you know what? I think maybe I spent $30, give or take. It's money well spent. And you don't, and you know, that's your upkeep, because things do decay, but they don't, like, I don't believe your buildings do, or any of that stuff, obviously, if you have upkeep money, okay? Now, items like food and stuff like that, they'll still decay. Anyway, okay, so here we are. All right, and I will real quick. And I'm going to show you that real quick. I had made some nails. I don't know if we need the small ones or the big ones, but I'll grab both. All right, because I have a few planks on me. All right, since I have all the floors down in my house, I'm not even going to get into how I built this, because that's even longer. But anyway, I'm going to go, no, I don't want to do that. Oh, click the floor to do this. Right click, and then plan. I want to plan a floor above. I don't want to put a roof on it. I want a floor above. Can I do that? No, I need higher carpentry. Actually, you know what? I'll show you on my wagon. There we go. I'm finishing my wagon out here, my large cart. Now, with larger items, okay, I can right-click this, add the cart to my crafting window, and that would be this question mark here. Now, I don't want the saw there because I need planks, so I will grab my planks, throw them in there, okay, because I'm trying to finish this cart and it needs 10 more planks to finish. Some items, when you build them, you only build part of them, and then you have to add other items to them later. So let's see. Bottom right, event window, we're going to watch full stamina. To add 1 plank to the cart takes 18 seconds. Okay. Not too bad, 18 seconds. Now, you don't always succeed because my carpentry is only not even 20. But I can still show you this. Now, if we queue it all the way up to 3, full stamina on the first craft, 18 seconds. That's great, no problem. All right, second craft, 25 seconds. We're at 5 more seconds. You'll notice my stamina went down a little. Third craft, 27.6. So that's like 11, 12 more seconds than that. Now, depending on what you're doing, it's going to take longer and be more between them, depending on the amount of stamina it's going to use and so on. So bottom line is, if you're going to be at your keyboard, I would personally recommend, and I mean, there are times that I do queue it all up, and I'm sure later on in the game, when I'm much higher, it'll be worth it to max out the queue. But either way, it's still going to save you time. And you notice how quick my stamina went back up. That's because my thirst is full, and my food is like, more than half. So, if you want to get it done a little quicker, bottom line, just, if you're at your computer, just sit here, Just sit here and then, click it. Or if you want to just not have to be actively on your mouse and keyboard, then sure, queue it up and, do that, boom, and then just kind of kick back and not worry about it. But there you go. Just a quick little tip on that. And a couple other things, I guess, because I did ramble a little bit and jump around. I apologize. Anyway, I'm having a blast in this game, and it's definitely the deepest MMO that I've ever played, and I'm loving. And is it grindy? Absolutely. It took me several hours to get this house built and the materials for it and everything else, and I mean a lot. One tip if I can give is when you're first starting out and you're chopping trees to get some skill gain and stuff, and you're turning the trees into planks like I was doing with the logs. And to do that, by the way, you need tools, which you will start with tools. But you know what I mean? Like, you need to make planks, you needed the log, and I needed the mallet. Okay? Make planks to raise your skill, and save planks. Just because you'll need them. I saved a bunch of planks, and it saved me when it came to building this house. So there you have it. That's a quick little introduction and tutorial into Wurm Online, an amazing game that just hit Steam. It's been around for 15 years, almost, something like that. I highly recommend checking it out. It's free to play. You have nothing to lose. Don't get discouraged. Be patient, and you'll have a ton of fun. And there's a lot of people. I'm on the local chat, so you're not going to see any chat. This isn't how many people are in the game right now. This is how many people are just in my immediate area. This is chat. That's the one chat for the one area, I guess, or whatever. Like, these are the servers, okay? Also, when you're starting out on Steam, you can pick basically the veteran servers, which are the Freedom. These have been established on and off for the entirety of the game, the Freedom Isles. This is PvP, and these can all be traveled between, okay? These I'm not sure what they are, to be honest. And then we have the new stuff that we're added with Steam, which are, why can I not see all those? You got Harmony, which is where I started. Hold on. Normally I can see all three of the islands. Anyway, there's Defiance, which is PvP, and you can travel to all these. There's I think it's Melody. There's 2 PvE maps and 1 PvP, and they can all be traveled between. Now the PvP, I don't think you can take items to it, but you can travel your character to it between them. So, anyway, there you go. Quick little tip on crafting and your action queue, and welcome to the game. I highly recommend checking it out, and I will be doing future videos for little tutorials of things that I learned, and, you know, just me playing and having a great time. So, thank you very much, and we will see you next time in Wurm Online. Take care. Have a great night.